Hello everyone, welcome to Grounded Roots Healing. Should call it late night Grounded Roots Healing because it seems like every video it's really late at night. This is, well, 2:55 a.m. I'm here charging the car because I can't sleep and I'm processing all kinds of difficult energies, let's say. And I figured I might as well do a video while I'm sitting here. So what will I talk about today, this evening? So I just did a Reiki and breathwork session, which was amazing. And I find that I'm starting to actually enjoy the process of going through the emotions and dealing with this stuff. That I really truly enjoy these sessions. Now, that's almost perverse if you think about what's actually happening, because I was a crying mess the entire time, or nearly the entire time. But the way I look at it, it's become a way to process more of this stuff so I don't have to deal with it again. So it's almost like it's like a nagging toothache, and then you finally get that tooth pulled out and it doesn't, and the relief from having that gone was worth the entire pain that you went through to get it gone, i.e. the dentist appointment. So I'm not saying, Jillian and Christy, that your sessions are like dentist appointments. They're not. But I am starting to truly enjoy the process of doing that. Now, I think what I need to do is get to that point where dealing with these energies and these traumas and stuff that comes up, the multi-layered onion that is trauma healing, if I can get to the point where it's a similar thing, where I'm actually looking forward to dealing with it, because then I don't have to deal with it anymore. I am not there yet. So it's been a challenge. So two videos ago, I was struggling. I was going through some energies, trying to integrate some things and process some trauma, and memories are coming up and all of this fun stuff, and I was getting drawn into it, and I have been again today. But when I made that video, I talked about my angry inner child, and that the energies that were coming up were mostly anger related, and that I didn't deal with the anger, or any emotion for that matter, in the moment as it would come up. I would bottle it. I would push it down. I probably didn't even know what the emotion was. I just knew it wasn't safe for me to feel those in the environment that I was being raised in, or encouraged to feel, or anyone had the ability in my environment to even teach me what those things were. So I bottled everything up. So I never dealt with this stuff. And I talked about that in my video. And then when I went to the Reiki and breathwork session, Jillian did an introduction, and she described that a very thing may happen when you do a breathwork exercise like we did. And she wasn't wrong. So it's quite amazing, the synchronicity of that I was able to actually determine what was going wrong with me, processing it while I was processing it. And then by some weird coincidence, we had booked a Reiki and breathwork session where it was designed to deal with some of this stuff. Now, when you do one of these sessions, it's not over when you're done the session. So I've been rehashing, let's call it, this stuff over and over. It just keeps coming up, and it's to be dealt with. And I have been, but it's a challenge. And I'm not having fun doing it. Like I said, I would hope I would get to that point. Definitely not. I've had to isolate myself again so that I don't inflict this stuff on anybody else. When I have moments where I have clarity and everything seems fine, and then I get ungrounded, and then I gotta struggle with it again, and then I gotta take myself out of the situation to try to center myself before I can reintegrate into society. So it's a challenge, and it's not uncommon. It's exactly what I've been going through for a long time, and it is exhausting. So I guess it's a good thing. I mean, we're dealing with stuff, right? But there's still more to go, and I know there's more to go, and I'm trying not to get discouraged because it puts strains on all your relationships. It's like you can't remember the last time you felt joy, like true joy, where you weren't stressed out about something else, or if there wasn't some nagging bloody memory that's trying to take your conscious attention away from you. And hey, think about this whole thing, we have to deal with this. And I'm just tired. I just don't want to do it. So I guess that's pretty much it for that. That's where I'm at again. Once again, I'm a little more positive tonight, but I'm still struggling. And I think it has a lot to do, with a lot of things. So astrology is legit and is difficult on us, let's say. Various astrological phenomena are cause effects on our bodies. For example, we've had 2 very, very big solar flares recently. Now, what is a solar flare? It's a coronal mass ejection, or it's an energy ejection from the surface of the sun, and it flies off the surface of the sun and then causes aurora borealis, or northern lights, and it brings highly charged particles with it. Now, as I've said a million times, there's no such thing as a particle. A particle is just energy. But as this simulation exists and we have to live in it, it's a particle, at least by the way we measure everything. So these particles bombard the planet, and they're charged with a lot of energy. And we are energy, especially our physical mind-body complex is energy, but also our obviously our soul. And if you have to agree that we have a soul in order for this to work, but our soul, or our auric field, is pure energy, and it interacts with these. Now, this is on purpose. This is a whole different level to the game again. So as Gaia, Mother Earth, is alive, well, so is the sun, and it's helping Gaia, let's put it that way. I mean, you can look at it with whichever level you want. If you want to look at it just as it's a burning ball of gas in the sky, it's still chucking out energy, and it's still interacting with us. The moon, there's another perfect example. The moon has unbelievable effects on water, i.e. the tides on the planet. And the tides, for those of you who don't know, are the gravitational pull of the moon affects the oceans, and it literally pulls the oceans towards it. So whichever area the moon is facing, it's gravitationally pulling the water to that part of the earth. So it's like the water stays stagnant and the earth rotates in the oceans. and that causes the tides. It's like higher and lower water levels. The part of the earth facing the moon has the water bulging out towards the moon, and the part of the earth facing away from the moon has the water pulled in. So low tide, high tide, and that's how it works as the planet rotates. Well, we're 70% water. Many of our organs are 80+% water. Our blood is nearly all water. So think of the gravitational pull on what's going on in your body. And now look at this from even a higher perspective. The moon as the sun and earth are entities, let's say, so is the moon. And not even just that, like the gravitational pull on your energy field, on your auric field, will cause distortions. It's almost like it's squeezing or pulling or tearing your auric field, compressing it, and it causes issues. Like, none of this stuff is unplanned. None of this stuff is like something to be concerned about. It's all part of this game. It's this part of the schoolhouse. It's just another level, and it's a way to recognize why you feel a certain way. There's a reason the word lunatic has Luna in it. This is not an accident. Luna means moon. Full moon refers to a lunatic, or at least it's been associated for a very long period of time, causing irrational behavior in people when the moon was full. Of course, we have werewolves and all this stuff too. And I'm not saying werewolves are real, they may be, but they wouldn't be real on this three-dimensional plane. But in other realms, they may very well be something that exists. But I'm getting off topic. So, these energies cause distortions in our energy field. The same goes when they have different planetary alignments, and this is what astrology is. So each one of the planets in the system has a different effect on our auric field. And in my opinion, that is not debatable. I've noticed this so much, like eclipses, depending on which, anyway, the zodiac sign. It's all legitimately a representation of how this actual system that we live in works. Or at least the higher levels of the game. I guess it just occurred to me, you know? I mean, if this stuff is all part of the illusion as in itself, then it's just a part of the game at a higher level. Now, this would also go for, say, extraterrestrials or UFOs or any other beings that may be around us at this time. They're just part of the game too. They're just at a higher level of the game. And they probably know it. Yeah, so kind of a weird rambling video. But I believe that is the way it works. And right now, the energies are particularly difficult. We have, like I said, the solar flares. We have had a recent solar eclipse. We had a lunar eclipse not long ago. The full moon, etc., etc., etc. So, not to mention the collective consciousness of the planet, all of our auric fields, all of our souls are intertwined. So if something bad is occurring somewhere, or not say bad, but is causing stress, or maybe just bad, maybe there's a war, the people going through that in that particular situation, the trauma and the fear and all of the low vibrational energy that comes from that particular situation reverberates around the planet, and everybody feels it. If there's fear over a particular outcome of an election, say, or elections, or if let's say the other team is successful in scaring people into thinking something bad is going to happen, we'll all feel it. And then that tends to be combined with some of this other stuff that's going on, because they have strategies. So I think that's where I'll leave it. Yeah. I got 10 minutes remaining on the charge. And I got 31113 as a synchronistic number on my dashboard here. So it's things are getting strange. I think this is not going to get any easier globally. I know it's not. It's going to get scary. And I hope everybody can get to the point where they realize that this is just a level of the game, and they stay grounded and they don't get drawn in, and don't feed the machine, and they feed off fear. Easier said than done. Anyway, as I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.